Welcome to the Fight Night Daily Podcast. I'm Gareth A Davies. Spencer Oliver here with me outside the Peacock Gym in Canning Town. You can see the late, great Bradley Stone to our left there. Lost his life as a boxer in 1994. We are here today for the workouts for Adam Azim and Ohara Davies and crew for Saturday night. It's live on talkSPORT. But just for a moment, given what happened to you where you had a blood clot on the brain boxing and you've not boxed since, Bradley had one and passed away in that York Hall fight with Richie Wenton. Just talk us through why you were close to Bradley.
Well, listen, I mean, this is where I used to train as a youngster. This is where I learnt my craft really. Coming over here, sparring with all the greats like Bradley Stone, who was preparing for that British title fight.
You were a teenager at the time.
I was a teenager at the time, still amateur. I think I just going to the Commonwealth Games or just come back from the Commonwealth Games around that time, just before turning pro. I sparred. I had the privilege of sparring with Bradley Stone. I think I was one of his last spars actually, 2 weeks before
that Wenton fight.
Before the Wenton fight. I had the privilege of sharing the ring with him, and unfortunately Bradley never made it through that contest. And ironically, I went through the similar injury, but through the likes of Bradley Stone, Michael Watson, and the medical science improving the way that it improved, effectively saved my life. And unfortunately Bradley never made it, but what a man, what a gentleman, and what a beautiful statue there. And he lives in the hearts of so many of us in the boxing world because he was such a lovely young man, and I've learnt so much from him in that sparring session.
Well, the thing is about Bradley Stone as well, this gym, which has been here 46 years, put together by the Bowers brothers, Martin and Tony, who are here today. This area is going to be redeveloped into flats, and potentially the statue will stay here with a gym here, or if not, it will go to potentially Beckton Station. There's a street down in Beckton called Bradley Stone Street. And I think the key thing is, like you rightly mentioned there, boxing's an inherently dangerous sport. Mm-hmm. Safety practices have been improved because of you, because of Michael Watson, and your life was saved by things that they changed after Michael Watson. Obviously he was with us and is 60 next year. By the way, Michael is. Yeah. We've got to remember that it is a dangerous sport, and terrible things happen in the sport.
Absolutely. Listen, that I think that we all know the dangers within the sport when we get into it, but obviously no one ever thinks it's going to happen to them, but it does happen, and I think that beautiful brutality surrounding boxing is what attracts people to it, but unfortunately there are tragic circumstances like the one that happened to this beautiful young man, Bradley Stone, and honestly, I can't tell you what a nice man he was, hence why there's a street named after him, why there's a statue here, why it will be here, why it will probably be put at at the station, Canning Town Station.
Canning Town or Beckton Station.
Or Beckton Station,
They don't know, and probably stay here with the flats if the gym's built with the flats.
What I'm saying is that it will end up somewhere where people see it and remember it, because he was such a lovely young man, and I must say that.
Exactly, and this obviously is the spiritual heart of London. We're very close to the docks here. It's where boxing really was big and began. It's great to remember Bradley and remember those times. Saturday night we have a live broadcast from the Copperbox, part of the new East London, the Queen Elizabeth Park. Dan Azeez is one of the guys on that card, and he joins us now, fresh off, I have to say this, his defeat to Joshua Buatsi. Yes. Is that 7 months ago, 8 months ago?
Yeah, February time. February the 1st. Then I had a poor draw in June at Crystal Palace, my home turf in South London, against Sepp. And we're trying to get the results right now. So I'm back fighting an old foe, from the amateurs, Louis Edmondson, undefeated young kid, good, talented, and I'm looking forward to it.
Have you seen Joshua Buatsi since the fight? Have you spoken?
We spoke after we was in Ghana together.
Really?
Yeah, we was in Ghana together.
I saw the pictures,
the king,
actually,
the princes, and the
all
royalty.
Of them, because he's a prince. Like his family's actually royalty. So met some people.
He doesn't make a big deal of that, does he?
He doesn't make a big deal out of anything. That's Josh.
But he does a lot of charity work for Ghana now, and he's got the Joshua Buatsi Foundation where he supports Ghana a lot in what he's doing. So he does a fantastic job out there. I wanted to ask you actually about your draw. Yeah. There at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Just didn't get into things, Dan, did you? You were slow in getting going, and it looked like you was fighting it a little bit.
Do you know what? I think that fight, it was a bit of frustration. I just wanted to get out, and You know, I don't think I really had my thinking cap on. I just wanted to go out there, throw punches, try and bully someone. It just didn't go my way. I'll be honest with you. No excuses. All credit to Sep. He put on a good job, and I got a draw, and I learnt from it. That's the main thing that I did, and I'm looking to come back.
Some fighters, doesn't matter what training you do, and the training goes meticulous, and it gets, everything works out well, but on the night, it just don't come together. And you had one of those nights, didn't you? I see you forcing it from the opening bell.
1,000,000%. It didn't, like you said, it wasn't coming together. I couldn't really find my rhythm, and I really had to graft and force my way, not even to a win, but to a draw. And we're here now.
So what do you want to achieve against Louis on Saturday night, and what's the route forward for you getting back into that top echelon in the next 12, 15 months?
I believe I'm in that top echelon, but
I didn't mean you weren't.
No,
I meant the route map.
I got you, but I'm always about, you got to earn your right, you got to earn your keep. And I think this fight for me is just to show, listen, I'm still here. You know, I can talk it all as much as I want. Yeah, I'm up there, but you got to go out there and you got to win. And I haven't won in a while, so that's the first thing. Get in there and beat someone who definitely is confident and feels they've got me at the right time.
You've got to be game, haven't you?
And you are at different stages of your careers, aren't you? I mean, you've been going from WBA number 1, number 2. Yeah. This kid's now coming up, and he sees this as a crossroads fight. But in many ways, it's a crossroads fight for you because you have to win at this level, Dan, right?
No, for sure. And like you said, it's that pressure of, I know what I need to do, and now let's go out and do it. I think that's, put the gear,
the fire back in the belly.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I have to have it. If I go in there thinking, he's not on my level, I know I'm in some serious trouble. And I've sparred Louis. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. We fought in the amateurs, so I definitely can't overlook everything. I really have to be focused, and I'm looking forward to it.
Did you see BeterbievBivol Bivol on Saturday night?
Yeah.
How did you see the contest? How did you score it? And what are your afterthoughts?
Bivol landed some nice clean shots, but I think the pressure got to Bivol towards the later end of, quote-unquote championship rounds. I gave BeterbievBivol the last 3 rounds.
Did that edge him the fight for you?
Yeah, for me. There was a round, I think it was 11 or 10, one of the rounds, and Bivol hardly threw a punch. You could tell he was really down for. But early on in the contest, Bivol was excellent. His second phases were so good. He would catch him with a shot. He won't wait and look. He'll go straight again. And as someone who's been in there with BeterbievBivol, I know what it's like to have to keep that movement. Even just taking the shots, you saw his eye. That wasn't because he got hit clean. It's because BeterbievBivol was hitting his glove and it was going back in. That's how heavy-handed this guy is.
Gvozdik told his team, I spoke to one of his cornermen after the fight, a guy called Pablo, lives in Spain, who said Gvozdik came back to the corner towards the end of that fight against BeterbievBivol and said, it feels like he's hitting me with bricks.
Yeah, literally.
Is that true?
I'm telling you, I remember sparring him and he's throwing body shots and you're catching him. You're like, okay, I'm catching. Yeah. But it feels like, you see this, it's like someone's whacking you with that. You're like, what is, do you know what I mean?
Is that just a freakish power that some people have?
That's exactly what it is. We always knew that Bivol would control the space because he's got that movement, he's got that boxing IQ. But you knew that's why we predict that, pretty much how we predicted the fight would go, that Bivol would start very well. Yeah. But the freakish power of BeterbievBivol was always going to see him over the line for me.
No, final one, Dan?
On what?
Just that at the weekend.
On the weekend.
When you're headed towards those guys, you're headed towards fighting those guys?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm just 100% concentrating on Louis, and straight after, God willing, we get the win, and then, we're trying to get back to where we were.
Go and get your car before it gets stolen.
It's not mine.
We've got Ben Shalom joining us now. Come on in, Ben, please. No. Yes, it is live. It is live. It's a podcast for the Fight Night Extra podcast. A Fight Night Daily podcast, sorry. Ben, how are you, first of all?
Good to see Dan Azeez back, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely. He was just telling us about sparring with BeterbievBivol, by the way, and about how it does feel like you're being hit by a bollard when he lands punches. I haven't asked you, I had a chance to ask you, how did you see that fight on Saturday night? Or were you with Fraser in hospital at that point?
I was with Fraser, so I have to be honest, I haven't watched the full 12 rounds at that point. It was a shame because it was a fight I was looking forward to most all year, but, some things come first, and at that point it didn't matter. I've just seen a split opinion. I've watched the highlights. I think it was a very even fight from everything that I've seen, and it could have gone either way. I know a lot of people saying Bivol, but from what I saw, it was a very even fight, and one round either way was fair.
Very quick, I've got to ask you, because many people... I put out 2 tweets, by the way, on Fraser, who I saw at the airport on the way home, giving a little report saying well done to Fabio Wardley, and also that we'd seen the photographs, hadn't we, where his jaw had been operated on. 600,000 views those 2 tweets got, and I'll tell you why.
Is that on you? Is that on your...
On mine, but just before I got on the plane. It's because people really care about Fraser Clark. I know you went on talkSPORT on Monday to give an update, or Tuesday. Just give us the full update on how he is.
Look, he was speaking today. He wants to be out in 12 weeks' time. You know, he wants to be back training for fights in 12 weeks' time. I think he's going to have to take some time out in the ring, but he's going to be back early next year. I think in that moment, everyone was frightened. Yeah. Anyone involved with Fraser Clark, and as you said, in the industry, so well liked. He's such a good boy, isn't he? He's such a good man that everyone was just concerned. But to see him now back with his family, thinking about boxing again, that's all you can ask for.
Well, we started the podcast today, Ben, on a serious note, because Bradley Stone is behind us here, the statue. What happened to Spencer? And you just worry in that moment that someone's life is going to be changed erratically. Thank the Lord that he's okay.
It's interesting because I actually spoke to him at the airport as well, and he that went through his head. He said because of the explosion that felt like it had gone off in his head, and when he felt the indent in his face, he said, "Listen, he was there with his wife, and he said, I've got young children. I've really got to think about what I do moving forward and all that." So he was very emotional. Yeah, but that's what fighters do.
Of course they do. They're different breeds.
That's what I'm saying. But him speaking today, he said, "Yeah, listen, I'm coming back," and that's what it is. He's got the appetite back already, and that's amazed me because I didn't think it was going to be as quick as that.
It is amazing, but he was also sensible enough to know that one punch, one lapse of concentration can change a fight. I still believe he's a better fighter than Fabio Wardley. I still believe he's a more talented boxer. He's got caught, and he did 12 rounds, and he's got caught in the first round cold, and strange things happen over in Riyadh season. And but as you said, in that moment, you question everything, Gareth. You question why you're in the sport. You question.
So right.
You question, like, even my partner, who always is talking about boxing and this and that and what you're doing. Even that, even I'm having a conversation with her and said, Ben, he debuted with you. You're looking after him. We know his family. We know, and in those moments, you really think, is it all worth it?
It's the harsh reality of an inherently dangerous sport and brutality. Beautiful brutality that goes ugly sometimes. Lot to get through with you here now about this card. Shannon Courtenay back, well done. 2 years away. Yeah. She looks fresh.
Yeah. She does. I've had a great chat with her, actually.
She does. She's a character, isn't she? And women's boxing needs characters, just as men's boxing does. But great to see her and Fran Hennessy both on the card. Yeah,
Fran Hennessy as well, of course, you've touched on her. Dan Azeez, we just spoke to. Yeah. He's got a test with Louis, but wants to get back in the big time. Is that a possibility?
Definitely. It's a great fight. It's a fight for him to regain the British title that he held for so long. It's a fantastic fight. Louis Emerson as well, in a different stage of his career, it's almost a crossroads fight. It's a must-win fight for both of them, and it's a great fight. I've seen a lot of people that fancy Louis after Dan Azeez's last performance. I was disappointed with his last performance. I've said to him here, I hope you switched on now, and he really is. He knows that this is a massive fight for him, and with that domestic light heavyweight division, obviously you've got Anthony Yarde there on Saturday night, you've got Joshua Buatsi there. It's really hotting up, and I want to see Dan Azeez back in the mix, back at the top of the division.
So very quickly, if Anthony Yarde is impressive and is not injured, do we get? I've seen all the things you've said this week that you've got both guys' careers in your hands at the moment. So Joshua Buatsi and Anthony Yarde, a big fight in the UK next year, or do you talk to Turki Al Sheikh about it and have it in Riyadh season? Where are we with it?
We were very interested in what happened on Saturday night. Obviously, Buatsi's got the interim title, and so that fight could have happened next. But seeing as that rematch might happen, which we fear, it's the only fight.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big fight.
But it's the only fight.
Is that a sell-out the O2 Arena fight?
Without a doubt. We were going to
Stadium?
We were going to do it in Selhurst Park in June, and that's why we were there. And it was absolutely devastating that we didn't manage to get it over the line. And things happened, and we ended up fighting Willie Hutchinson, which we never expected. But here we are now, and it's the only fight that Joshua Buatsi's got in his mind. And we know that for Anthony Yarde as well.
Final word on Adam Azim, because Shannon Courtenay's about to join us. Final word on him. What a spectacular young man he is. We spoke with him yesterday. He grows by the month.
It is. It's like watching. I imagine it's like having young children, because when he first came in to see us in the office, he could hardly talk. He couldn't look at you in the eye. He's shuffling around, but he's still 22 years old, and the time out of the ring since his injury and everything, he's just grown. He's grown outside of the ring, and that gives me real confidence that we're going to see a mature performance on Saturday night. The McGuigans are very confident and very, very happy with where he's at in his development. I do want to just say, you know, to all the boxing
Be patient.
fans, be patient.
Yeah,
he's 22 years old. I mean, I always say, what was I doing when he was 22? What were you doing when he's 22? He's
travelling the world, living in China.
Yeah, God knows what you were doing.
Listen, Ohara Davies, Ohara Davies is quickly going off that defeat against Barroso. You're looking at that.
I was involved with the revolution, Tiananmen Square revolution. That's a story for another day.
Let me just finish on the Ohara. Ohara Davies is a very dangerous opponent. People must remember that. Barroso is a good fighter and he got caught cold. This is a dangerous fight for Adam Azim.
It's very dangerous. For me, it came out of nowhere. He was supposed to be fighting Harlem Eubank. For me, Ohara Davies is a better fighter. If
he's on, it's a hard fight.
With a better resume. It's a massive risk. I can't say here confidently that I know what's going to happen on Saturday night. I believe Adam Azim is going to make a huge statement, but when you're going in with someone that's been at world level, when you're going in someone with a resume like Ohara Davies, who prior to his last fight had only ever lost to Jack Cattrall and Josh Taylor, who can punch, who's rangy, who, regardless of what he says, I know has had a fantastic camp and is coming in here extremely motivated. It's a real fight, and I think that's why fans are so excited.
As he grows, at welterweight, there's a Conor Benn fight. In this 140-pound division, there's Dalton Smith. Look abroad, mate, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis,
it's the most
Devin
sexy
Haney.
weight out there right now.
And you will take him to America and all of us with you eventually, wherever we go. It's great to see you. Final one. As we say, be patient with Adam Azim, but be patient with you as well, because pressure makes diamonds, and you're going to be a diamond as a promoter, because they're putting you under pressure at the moment, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, but I bet you're growing inside from it at the moment as well, because they're putting pressure on you, and it's probably, you'll look back on this period and go, I grew there.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I believe so.
Even though you call me a Queensbury man.
I believe so. I think, as you said, when you get to the top of any industry, you get more challenges, you get more obstacles, and with the stable we've got and the fights that we're putting on now, it comes with the territory. And
enjoy it.
If I'd known 4 or 5 years, ago that we were going to be here, this is what dreams are made of.
There you go, you're here. Well done. Great to see you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well done, mate.
Well, we talked about, thank you very much. We talked about Shannon Courtenay. Here she is, looking fresh. Looking for it's 2 years since we've seen you. I remember, I've got to say this, you and I did a very deep dive for DAZN called Off the Cuff. We cried, we laughed, it was very deeply emotional at the Matchroom offices. I've got to say, even though you've been away, you lost your world title, you went away, I watch you on Instagram, I follow your life, and it really seems like you've grown. Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%. I was saying to Spencer earlier, I had a bit of a rough time. So today's probably the first time I've spoken about it openly. I wound up in hospital with a few mental health issues, had the injury of my knee come up, and I've just took time away to find myself, get happy again, and now
got married, had kids.
No marriage, no kids.
You look like you're on the way.
Do you know what?
Because you've got a beautiful boyfriend now, and you're together all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not married. I'm not having kids just yet.
Okay,
but
on a serious note, Shannon, we was talking inside, and I think it's really worth talking about, you know, the issues that you've been through. People were saying, where's Shannon Courtenay? She was doing such big things, winning world titles, then you lost the title outside the ring and making weight issues and everything else. But the struggles you've had in those 2 years that you were telling me in there, I think that's worth documenting to the audience, because that is not easy to come back from. You've shown a lot of characters to do that.
That's bigger than winning a world title.
Absolutely.
Is that what you feel like you've gone through?
Listen, I'm a winner before I even fight Saturday night. To come back here, it's what I've gone through. It's crazy.
I mean, the went through was literally
hospitalised you, didn't it?
Not today.
Okay.
One day maybe, but listen, all I know
it's in the past.
Yeah, it's in the past. I'm happy and healthy now. I've spoke before about having mental health issues, but I was very, very ill with it. And
listen, you're back. That's all that matters, and you're happy.
Beautiful inside again.
I'm happy. I'm grateful to wake up, but I realised even I was getting myself better. This is a bold statement to say, but I actually feel like without boxing, I have no reason to wake up in the morning. It's my purpose, and now I'm here. It just adds to my happiness even more.
Well, tell us about Saturday night then. Let's talk about the boxing.
Tell
us about
I was just going to go there.
Yeah.
I was just about to go there.
I was
going to go there. I was going to pull you back there.
But the truth is, you know, I've probably known you 5 years now, and emblematically, you've always been deep. We've always had deep chats, because you're out there in that way. But tell us about Saturday night and your opponent and your route map.
Listen, Saturday night I'm very blessed now. I've got Spencer Brown looking after me, and
he's a ledge, isn't he?
I thought you was going to go Spencer Oliver there for a minute. I was
He
like,
told me
there
when
ain't
he
many
signed
Spencers
you.
around
He
you.
told me
I was
when he
like, hold on a
signed
minute.
you. I was really pleased about it.
He's a man.
He's a proper boxing guy,
And he's
isn't
not
he?
just the best thing about Spencer is he cares. He doesn't want to just see the big fights, which he does, but he wants to see the fighters get looked after and rewarded for their hard work. And he said, Shan, we had the undisputed tournament, the kits getting moved left, right and centre, which might not happen now. If it does next year, he said, Shan, let's just get out Saturday night, let the world see you're back again, and then next year
Fight in Riyadh.
But that's what it's, Shannon.
There we go. I
Shannon,
think we
but
broke
that's
a
what it's
story
all
there.
about,
No comment, but clearly.
Yeah, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about getting back out there. What are you doing? 4-2s on Saturday.
No, doing 6-2s.
on Saturday. But it's about getting back out there and just getting back into the rhythm and getting a routine again. That's the most important thing. When you've got discipline, direction, then you've got a purpose.
Exactly. I'm waking up with a reason now, you know, because I've got a fight coming up, and I'm at my happiest when I'm in camp. That's what I need, that regimen in my life. So
come on then, when's Riyadh? When's it happening? Come on.
Who knows?
I mean,
she's already given us a little nod. Like, no, I'm not talking about that right now. But world title aspirations again next year.
All the belts next year.
Okay.
We don't just want one title. We want all the
what
belts.
weight?
Oh, but for world listen, this Saturday's not getting down to championship weight because I don't need to.
But
For world titles, I will get down to bantamweight.
Bantamweight, yeah.
There's no point. Listen, I went and saw a specialist last year, and they were like, every time you get down to championship weight, you're reducing your chance of having children because your fertility, you're ruining your inside. Your weight cut is so dramatic.
Yeah.
So unless it's for world title, I'm not going to get train myself again.
But is there? I mean, women go up and down the weights anyway. Is there options to go super bantam, feather?
Of course. If the titles come up at other weight classes, I'll take it.
Yeah, we just done it.
There you go. Who wants it?
Great to see you. Can't wait to see your fight on Saturday night. Lovely to see you again,
Brilliant.
Shannon.
Well
Cheers.
Well done.
Cheers.
Brilliant.
You.
Well done.
Denzel Bentley's going to join us now.
Oh, they're all coming in.
He's going to
Here we
slide
go.
in round the back of Bradley's statue here and come and join us. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all good, thanks, man. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. What's happening with you at the moment?
Just in the gym, just training, helping everyone else out until I get a date.
Do a
Corner on Saturday night?
What's that?
You cornering for anyone on Saturday night?
No, I'd like to, though. That'll be a new experience.
Do us a favour, mate. Just continue boxing with him as long as you can, because he's bloody good on commentary, by the way. I've been working with him. He's bloody good on commentary.
Question for you. Behind the scenes, there was talk about Chris Eubank Jr. fighting Yanibek Alim Kanuli.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know about him.
Yeah.
How do you see Chris Eubank faring against him if they made that fight?
I'll be honest, I don't think Chris Eubank will fight him, so, I mean, he had the chance to. I'm sure he was mandatory at some point after the Liam Smith fight, especially the second one. So I don't think it's somebody who wants to fight, so I think Chris knows how that fight will go himself.
Yanibek's a monster,
you're
isn't he?
not
He's a
positively,
monster.
you're thinking, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm not positively for Eubank, but, I mean, a lot of fighters won't take that fight for whatever reason, so.
Well, you know, you've been in there. He's a very, very difficult opponent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very tricky, he's very smart, he's very difficult. I mean, you can tell he's been boxing a long time.
Frank Warren's been calling your name for Eubank, actually, as well. In the recent interviews that we've been done, he's saying, you know, you won't box Hamza Shiraz. Don't worry about that. We got Denzel Bentley. Let's go. Denzel Bentley.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I'm ready, man. You know me already. I'm always willing to fight. Chris Eubank's a good name. He's, probably the biggest name in the UK at middleweight. So, if I can get in the ring with Eubank and, share the ring with him with honor, and if I can beat him, I take that spot, don't I?
Name, but not the most talented, would you say? Or you seem quite critical of him.
Probably because, it's a fight that I'm looking for. But I can't say he doesn't have talent. He's done what he's done to get where he's got to. Obviously, he's had the help of his dad's name. But I don't think he's done anything in this division that I haven't done, really. Do you know what I mean?
When you saw him on Saturday night, Denzel, against Kamil Zaramata, obviously put him down 4 times. When you look at what Conor Benn might be able to do against him, do you think that's a viable... Obviously, they're looking to make that fight. Do you give Conor Benn a decent chance against him at middleweight?
I don't know, man. Chris Eubank looks like someone that's slowing down. He doesn't look like someone that's, on fire right now and he's picking up. He looks like, his age is probably getting to him. He probably ain't been training as hard because he used to train like a savage when he was younger. He's probably been taking a lot of time off, living in Vegas, living the high life. Do you know what I mean?
Different style of fighter.
Yeah, different style of fighter. He slowed down a lot, and I think that will favour a lot of opponents. And Conor Bender's someone that's really explosive, will pull it on you, sit on your chest, and throw big punches. He can box a bit, move his feet in and out. So he's definitely given more of a challenge than Zeremeta. But
at 160, I think that may be the issue.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the issue at 160. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be able to carry that and move with that for as long as 12 rounds. If it lasts that's a weight that Chris Eubank's used to and comfortable with. I know we all spar above our weights, but it's different sparring above your weight and learning things and trying new things and actually competing at.
Told you he's a good talker, didn't I? See what I mean? He's a good talker, isn't he?
It's hard controlling the pair of you. You've always been a good talker.
He's got some front, ain't he? He's got some front, mate. Unbelievable. Wow.
There's only one man in a suit here.
I'm in a suit. It's just a tracksuit.
It's a track.
Yeah, nice.
All right, we're going to let you jog off in a minute. But, a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Everyone's fascinated with that people's scores from Saturday night. BeterbievBivol Bivol. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched
How
it.
did you have it?
I thought BeterbievBivol won, if I'm being honest. But that doesn't mean Bivol didn't box. I thought Bivol boxed amazing. I thought he'd done a lot of things to cancel out BeterbievBivol. But there's little slight things like, for example, at the end of every round, he's allowing BeterbievBivol to finish strong. So the last minute of every round, BeterbievBivol's pushing him back, letting his hands go. And even though a lot of them ain't landing, it's that pressure and that work rate that the judges are going to remember. You got to give something that the judges are going to remember. So different judges call different things. So you just got to be careful with what you're doing in the ring and can't let too much ground go.
I want to throw a question at you.
Yeah.
The immediate
I had it for BeterbievBivol,
yeah.
The immediate rematch happens, because I'm with you. I had BeterbievBivol winning by 2. The immediate rematch happens. They go in. Who wins that? Now, the reason I say that is because some fighters can make them changes and adapt.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
I think Bivol can win. I think, it's not one of them fights where, BeterbievBivol had it the first time and it's going to be the same again. It's not. I think Bivol's going to do even better. When I spoke to him, when I watched him, when I was watching his interviews back and...
Do you imagine you were speaking to him during it?
Yeah.
We all do that.
I was watching the interview back and I was listening to him and he was very down on himself, like, I should have done better. So I think he can actually do better and go in again and do better.
BeterbievBivol said the same. I didn't box as well.
Crazy.
The key is with those two, and we all want to see 12 more rounds, don't we?
Yeah.
Of course.
When are you out next? Have you got an idea? Are you able to tell us?
Yeah, I haven't got a set date, but I'm hoping to be at December. I'm in the gym now anyway.
Not on the 21st card, December 21st in Riyadh.
No,
7th.
I'd love that.
I want to fight in Riyadh. Have you got a message for Turkey Al Sheikh?
Yeah, man, get me on. Let me fight your boy Hamza, man. Let's go, man.
There we go.
Just made a fight. Beautiful.
You against Hamza is a fight I really want to see. We've talked about it on the show on talkSPORT.
It's an easy fight to make as well.
It's a great fight to watch.
I don't think I'm someone he wants to fight, to be honest, because
I agree.
that fight could be easily made with both of Frank. Even before, I have taken a few losses. That's probably slowed it down. Before I lost to Heaney, he was managing for my British. I was managing for his Commonwealth. The fight didn't materialise. I'm now managing for the EBU. He's obviously probably going to go on.
You're mandatory now?
Yeah, for the EBU.
Brilliant.
Here's my thinking, Denzel.
Title,
He's got to fight you at some point. Otherwise, he can't just go up to world's level. Obviously, they're talking, I think, in the background about Carlos Adames. Alan Cannuli was in the mix. He won't fight him yet. But I think he's got to fight you, because otherwise, he has not fought the lions in Europe, in my view. He hasn't fought the lions in his own forest. That fight has to happen at some point.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a fight I like, man. It's been put to me, when it got put to me 3 years ago, I said yes, and I've said yes ever since, up till today. But of course, listen, people have their own little journeys and they have their routes set out to how they want to get to world level, and that's fine. There ain't a problem with that. I've just done it the hard way. I've gone through, the British stage, took losses, come back, and fought my way to my position. Some people, they can sell a bit more. They're more sellable. He's a fresh-looking guy. I'm saying he dresses well. It's easy to sell him. So you probably want to. I'm not going to say protect him as much, but you want to guide him correctly. And he's been guided correctly. He's quite young, so look, I don't blame him for the route he's taken and what he wants to do. If he can get to world level and win a world title without having to go through, like you said, the lions of the domestic scene, then listen, fair enough. Go get your money, man.
The system.
Well, I'm not just saying. I'm not calling you domestic. What I'm saying is,
I mean, like British,
you're a world level fighter. So if he doesn't fight you at some point, he's avoided you. It's as simple as that for me.
I'm happy you said that, because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Well, listen, we're going to say cheerio. I'm not going to say jog on again. Lovely to see you as always, my man. Yeah, lovely. Cheers, Denzel.
Well done, mate.
Well, what a great podcast today here in Canning Town. Very historic, quite moving in some ways today. Great words from everyone. Thanks to our guests today, all the guys and girls that have come on. Thanks to Ben Shalom and all the boxers. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the weigh-ins. We're going to have more fun with all the fighters. Obviously, they're going to be cutting weight after today's workouts. What great fun. Spencer Oliver looking sleek and slick
Well,
as
you
ever.
got your new clobber on as well, mate. That must be pointed out.
Well, thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.